others say. Just find your way and try to stay true. Where you would like to go. I've got cigarettes and brandy, which could come in handy if you just help me loosen up my hand grenades fuse. Baby, don't refuse my truth, but it's up to you not to choose. I want you to stay true to what's right for you, no matter who. Oh, and know what will others say. Just find your way and try to stay true.
So, had a potential to be a pretty good start to the stream. Unfortunately, my microphone wasn't playing along. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. It's another round of NXT. This time, the LMU Championship hits the ground in Spa-Francorchamps for the third round of the season here with Split 1 and Split 2 both combined here in Spa-Francorchamps. So, let's have a look at, well, the current grid of cars that we will have today once once the tool does. Wait a second. Apologize that. So, and the tool should. So, it should be working right now. And it does. Lovely. I love it when things work. So, here we are with the 3 classes, or actually it's 4 classes, but it's 3 different kinds of cars that we will have here today. We're approaching the end of practice. We have the hypercar class, which features a couple of drivers. We have a lot of different manufacturers actually. We have the LMP2 class. There's not a lot of LMP2s. There's certainly more than one singular LMP2, but as I said, there's not a lot of LMP2 cars tonight here with us. And then we have a bunch of GT3 cars ready. So, having a look at the grid, we have Mohamed Colombo, championship leader, in first position. We have Jasper Kuismanen in the number 6 car, second in the championship, as well as the number 83, of course, Ashnel Donon. Not entirely sure how to pronounce that name. He told me how to, but I forgot it. We have Peter Kucera in the number 5 Porsche. We have Brad Hackers in the number 36 Alpine, we have Norbert Precker in the 51, Ronald Martinez in the 009 Valkyrie, and Dominic Major in the number 20 BMW. We were expected to be joined by the two Cadillacs, 12 and 38 in Hypercar. Then we have Joseph Green, Robert English, Patrick Kubica, and Max Moran in LMP2, and we have in GT3 we have Dimitri Baldet, Andrew Taylor, Corey Jason, Horia Antonache, Roland Dozer, Humid Korkmaz, and TJ Rumble, and then we have Dario Lopez, Ben Morris Hodges, Daniel Aksanov, Theo Mazur, Lorenzo Giganti, Ricky Bobby, and Valentino Vossi, as well as Alphonse Velli and Marcel Frozin in the GT3 class. In the GT3 AM class, which makes up a total of 17 GT3 cars, which is the most we ever had here in NXT. So, also, these cars make up a total of 29 cars. There should be a couple more hypercars coming, but I'm not entirely sure if they will join tonight. Both Toyotas declined last second, unfortunately. So, but that won't stop us from the qualifying session, and it will be the GT3 class which will make the start for today's qualifying session. So, let's watch the Aaron James Porsche Horia Antonache. Yeah, it's the endurance layout, so therefore it could be quite tricky. Corey Jason getting caught up there and causing a little pile up there. He wasn't expecting for the pit lane to abruptly stop. Oh no, not stop, but the exit is just a couple of meters further down. He wasn't expecting that at all, so therefore he just hit the wall for a second there. So we have Horia Antonache in the number 85 Iron Dames Porsche. A car that is usually driven by female drivers in real life. Not here in NXT though. And Antonache behind the wheel. He has been awfully unlucky in Imola. He got a 4th place, I believe, in Qatar. And wasn't for a good podium result in Imola, but then he had a collision with Humid Korkmaz, who is therefore banned from qualifying. So let's hope he does behave a little bit better this time around. Then we have Daniel Aksanov, the LMGT3 AM Championship leader, the 3 of the first of the 4 Mercedes. So we have the number 13 Good Smile Racing AMG of Aksanov. Then we have the number 61 AMG of Aksanov, which is not exactly 61, but he happened to use this skin. The number 63 of Ben Morris Hodges, and then Roland Dozer, the real 61 car here, number 5 in the order. Corey Jason, the championship leader in GT3, 2 wins out of 2 races, same as Aksanov. Let's see who will win if these two have a go at each other. The 46 in his trusty 46 BMW, then Alphonse Velli in the number 420 all carbon BMW. He was supposed to have a livery here, but it didn't quite work. So it's going to be an all-black car for him. Certainly does have a nice look to it. We have the numbers 87 Lexus, Dimitri Baldet, his teammate, the reigning champion, Alderic St. Jules, not here with us tonight. We have the 21 Ferrari of Andrew Taylor, who has collected his first points of the season last time around at Imola. He came off a good 2nd place with Corvette in his last race of Season 1, but Season 2 he struggled a bit to get going. Then we have Marcel Frozin in the number 59 McLaren. LMGT3 AM, I think that is. TJ Rumble in the number 66 Ferrari. We have Ricky Bobby in the number 18 Red Bull Porsche. and Valentino Rossi in the number, it is the number 46, but actually it's number 64. He's selected in this BMW. It's a different livery though to Corey Jason. And then we have Lorenzo Gigantini in the number 81. We have Dario Lopez, who is still not come out of the pit lane. We have Curtis Lianu, I'm sorry if I mispronounced that, in the number 77 Proton Competition Mustang. And we have Human Corkmaster, the number 95 car banned from qualifying. Let's go with Riedel International as he takes us around one lap of this track. Through Eau Rouge, the fastest corner on this entire track. It's full flat out, even a GT3 car. And these GT3s tend to hit 260, 270 at the end of the straight. More 260 in the LM GT3 spec. And... oh, apologies for that. As he completes first sector, Team Missouri has voted his lap time back into the pit lane, probably an invalidation, as Rory Antonacci a 39.3 in the first sector, Axonov a little bit quicker with a 39.2, Morsal just a little bit slower with a 39.7, or actually it's a 39.699, but I just rounded it up to a 39.7, then Alphonse Valley with 39.5, Corey Jason, I think, might have invalidated going up the hill or Rouge. It's a very tricky spot to invalidate. Dimitri was there with a 40.70. He definitely made a mistake here. So now the Aaron Dames Porsche takes us around the SS here at the final bit of the second sector. And the last double rides. The second of which even being flat out, even in a GT3 car. So, and he does just that perfectly, riding the curb a little bit. I wish I could race with these guys, but unfortunately Jake Van Deren is not here today, therefore I will not be able to race. Not that I was in a championship contention either way, but you'll see me back in 1 week time at COTA at the Circuit of the Americas, the short layout in Split 2, and I'll definitely try to win something on my second best track. But let's look at what we have right now. A 65.5 for Antonacci. Over the line he comes. The Iron Dames goes into provisional pole with a 25.4. Not certainly a very quick lap time, but keep in mind you still have to get your tires into the right temperature window on this opening lap. A 24.4 for the championship leader in GT3 AM, and Ben Morris Hodges second quickest overall with 25.1 in the number 63 Iron Lynx Mercedes. So Corey Jason now starting his flying lap, championship leader in LMGT3, potentially went a little bit wide there over the top of Eau Rouge and Radion. He's being chased by Roland Dozer. These two have been the top two in GT3, but Roland Dozer never could really take the fight to the car he has in front right now, Corey Jason. You might expect some rain, by the way. So, and it's looking like we'll stay with our 10 prototypes and our 17 GT3 cars. So, looking at Alphonse Valley, he's gone third quickest overall in the BMW. He's done a lot of hypercar on LMP2, so the GT3 is a little bit of new land for him. But I know that this guy has some great pace in GT3 cars. And he didn't really want to do LMP2 because, well, there's just not enough competition for him. For instance, the LMP2 field not performing really great. I don't think they'll have a future, to be honest. Valentino Rossi now over the line is P5 for him. Ricky Bobby P6. He's had a terrible incident into turn 1 at Monza last time around, but he has served his penalty by letting everybody pass and losing every position he gained through that. So therefore Stewart's decided to just leave him off with a couple of penalty points instead of giving him a qualifying ban. So Currently, Axonov still on P1. Is he going to extend that margin? Antonacci with a 23.2, Axonov with a 22.3. Morris Hodges, over the line he goes. It's an improvement to 22.2, but Corey Jason 21.3 and Roland Dozer 21.1 and 9. We have our two first drivers in the 21s, and it looks like Morris Hodges and Axonov have a lot more competition than they used to. Sometimes a bit lonely in the commentary box all alone. But unfortunately there is no one here who could do some commentary with me, so unfortunately it'll have to be this way. But well, I got my eyes on the chat now. It's kinda hard with two monitors. And welcome to the chat, everybody. Welcome, welcome. So, currently on with the number 81 of Lorenzo Gigantini. That is not an official split 1 entry, it is a split 2 entry instead. Where did I? There we go. But running a split 1 livery, because not everyone has race control. And the 13 car has been occupied by the Good Smile Racing team with Daniel Axonov behind the wheel currently. Corey Jason stays P1. Alphonse Valley, mega lap time there from him at 21.6, enough for second place, and he's looking for even more time here. I think that might have been an invalid lap in Sector 1 because the sector times have not been counted. Axonov now up to second, so championship leader in LMGT3 AM, finding some time as Corey Jason now at 20.5, absolutely flying, leaving the competition in the dust by 1 second. It's now Alphonse Valley, he's gonna cross the line. Where will the Finnish driver go? As predicted, it was an invalid lap time. Might have been just an issue. Morris Hodges couldn't find an improvement on that last lap. What about Roland Dozer? He's up behind him. And neither of them are currently looking for an improvement. Dimitri Boldet over the line is at 22.5. Jesus Christ. It's good that I didn't race, because Spa is probably my weakest track. So I'm very glad I didn't race. But also one thing we got to talk about is the pit lane here, as we see now Antonacci coming out of the pit lane. It's a very, very long pit lane, therefore you might want to think twice about doing a stop here in qualifying, because this pit lane is going to cost you like 1 minute out of qualifying time. And as we speak about qualifying time, it's 2 more minutes left until the hypercars and LMP2s, the prototypes, are allowed to line up in pit lane. It's now Andrew Taylor going for his lap, but loses the 21 car in somehow keeps it out of the wall. It's a very, very tricky spot. Over the hill, you have in GT3, you're at the very limit, and especially the Ferrari not being in the best position right now with all the BOP changes made to the car. Taylor called his qualifying session a day. It's now myself, Rosine, still looking for time. 25.6 is what he has on the clock at the moment. Looking for some more time. It's now Axonov remains in second position. Let's look at the leaders. Axonov into the pits. That is his qualifying. Jason will now try to find his final bit. Corey Jason over the line he goes, and does he improve to a 19 and maybe a low 20? It's a 20.4. Alphonse Valley into the pits. Roland Dozer over the line. It's not enough for an improvement, as now he's got the Mustang of Curtis Iliano behind, in front of him. And now he powers past the big American V8. Looking for his final run. This will be these guys' final run. Now Ben Morris Hodges up behind the Mustang, and that is his run compromised. Up behind a slower car, Morris Hodges into the pit lane. That is his qualifying. Dimitri Baudet struggling with the Lexus. The only Lexus on track today. 22.5 over the line he goes, and it's going to be a 22.4. Not enough on an improvement. Let's look at Theo Mazur, the man who finished second, or who was on to finish second in Portugal, round 1 of Split 2. Very ashamed I missed that. It's my favorite and best track. So now Mercedes AMG goes off a little bit wide there, but I think it will be still within track limits. I don't think it's an improvement though, because he's wiggling to the line. Mazur, 22.6, stays where he is right now. Valentino Bossi, he's gotten a surprising P2 at the end of last race. Just barely beat me to the line. Valentino Bossi, over the line he goes. It's going to be 22.7. It's an improvement on the board. It's not an improvement on the board, but it's an improvement of his time. TJ Rumble, the Ferrari reserve driver. Ferrari currently sitting P12 and P14. What is TJ Rumble going to be able to do? Over the line he goes. Thomas Rumble, only 11th, beats out Ricky Bobby, who now stops there. Derry Lopez, number 33, Corvette. That will be his qualifying time done and dusted. Same with Curtis Alieno. That is everything for them, as we now the first cars line up in the pit lane. The first of the prototypes, Ashnel Dno being the first car ahead of Peter Crisera. Then we have 2 of the LMP2 cars and Mohamed Colombo right behind. So now the prototypes roll out on the racetrack. The last of GT3s will have to return into the garage. Now Ashnel Dno, Ferrari A, of course, hypercar, number 83 in all yellow, ahead of Peter Crisera. Ferrari and Porsche, those were the main protagonists of this season. Peter Crisera being one of these, but I think Porsche definitely have a clear number 1 driver with Jasper Kuismanen. As for the Ferraris, it's a lot more evenly matched between Colombo and Preco, but I know that Colombo is very, very confident on this track. We have Robert English, who hasn't had a good season after the brilliant Hurst Team Jota season he had last time around. Last time the LMP2 field was a lot bigger though. Then we have Joseph Green, 2-time race winner in LMP2. Oh no, 1-time race winner in LMP2, my bad. DNF on the first round of the season. And we have Patrick Kubica in the number 34 Inter-Europol competition car. Then we have Norbert Precker, the number 50 Ferrari. We have Jasper Kuismanen, the number 6 car, currently sitting second in standings. Those two are equal on points. We have Dominic Major in the number 20 BMW. We have Max Moran still in the pits. We have Brad Hackers in the number 36 Alpine. And we have Ronald Martinez in that lovely sound Aston Martin Racing 009 Valkyrie. Here she goes. And that is the sound of heaven itself, ladies and gentlemen. So, Ashnel Dno will be the first car to complete a lap time, or at least start it. So now number 83 is flying down towards Eau Rouge. This is a car he likes a lot more than number 2 Cadillac he piloted last season. Flat out a lot easier in this hypercar than in a GT3. In a GT3 you kind of maybe have to lift off a little bit when the track is a little bit colder. In these cars you have a lot more aerodynamical downforce, on contrast to the very mechanical grip focused GT3 cars. What that means? Well, as for the hypercars, an aerodynamical car like this hypercar, you can see it's a lot lighter. It obviously does have a lot more horsepower, and this one in particular does have a front-wheel drive system as opposed to the GT3 class. The Ferrari, Toyota, and Peugeot being the only cars with such a system, as the Valkyrie does not have a hybrid system at all. So there's no there's no extra power for the Valkyrie from an electric engine. Regardless, an aerodynamic car, it creates downforce by its aero, as the name suggests. Whereas a GT3 car with a lot more mechanical grip does generate most of its grip over the tires. That is why the skill cap in GT3 is also higher, but it's also why it's easier to pick up. It's now Nxt Lmu will cross the line, and first time of the day will be in hypercar 2:02.2. Peter Crisira 2:02.1. Mohamed Colombo now out of the pit lane. Norbert Precker, Ferrari teammate, up behind Joseph Green in the LMP2. That is an LMP2 car. These are not the same class for everybody who's new to multi-class racing. The LMP2 car is indeed a slower class. No Precker regardless at 2:01.8. Jasper Kuismanen at 2:01.0. Up behind an LMP2 car right now. He doesn't have to get out of the way. So, and I don't think Patrick Kubica will even think about getting out of the way, and neither will Joseph Green, because they also yet to qualify themselves, and they will not just move it aside for a hypercar. Flashing lights from the Porsche driver. He now decides to send it on the inside of Joseph Green, and both of them go wide because of that. So I think that is Jasper Kuismanen's run done and dusted. He should maybe focus on getting past the LMP2 without the LMP2 losing too much time. Now let's see, Dominic Major to the line he goes. The number 20 BMW lines up at the back of the hypercar field with 2:02.3. Red Hackers now in the number 36 Alpine. We haven't seen a lot of this car in NXT. It was indeed racing in Qatar, but Qatar there was no broadcast, so therefore we have it. At least we have something right now. Joseph Green now 2:09.5 and Patrick Kubica 2:09.7. It's really close between these two in LMP2. The other LMP2 cars not having set a lap time yet. Brad Hackers now to the line he goes, and it's not looking like a very quick lap, but then again it might just be an outlap. Another outlet for him. Brad Hackers to the line at 2:07.8. Now Ronald Martinez, the AM, the heart of racing, Valkyrie 009, locking the brakes there, and a lot of understeer there for the Valkyrie, barely able to make the corner. They going loose, and there the V12 blasts by, and it will be 2:05.0, but keep in mind that is probably his second lap. And you just gotta love this noise. It's a shame it's damped. Kuismanen not the best of first sectors there. Potentially being compromised. He's got Norbert Precker right behind, so Norbert Precker will have a little show there, but Jasper Kuismanen a little bit to the gravel trap, but if you can look closer, you can see a little bit of bumps at the front of that Ferrari A, of course, as Norbert Precker goes awfully wide there. That results in him visiting the gravel trap, as does Jasper Kuismanen. Now Colombo approaching Robert English. Well, Robert English move aside from Mohamed Colombo. Will he stay in his line? There's a short straight there. Yeah, up in front of these two. I don't think Colombo is really on a push lap at the moment. And now on the straight, this is where the hypercar shines. This is where there was extra horsepower coming in. I think he's giving him a little bump draft here. Mohamed Colombo. So Robert English now through the final chicane. And what's it going to be for Robert English? It will be a 2:11.2. As Mohamed Colombo will line up in 7th place in hypercar. Now Jasper Kuismanen up behind Robert English in Throw Rouge, and this is not where you want to have LMP2 traffic. Switch and watch the second of the hypercars. Norbert Precker. Still looking for time to find on Jasper Kuismanen. Peter Kuisera very, very close. It's astronomically close between 2 and 5 right now. Peter Kuisera half a tenth of Norbert Precker. Dominic Major half a tenth of Peter Kuisera. Ashton Law 2/1000ths of Dominic Major. So the gap between Ashton Law and Norbert Precker is not even 1/10. That's how close it is out there. Norbert Precker struggling a little bit through these fast sections, but he's going to get a little toe from the LMP2 in front. Robert English, that is. This is not a good place to be for Robert English right now, though, but I think the Ferrari hypercar, no, he will not get past him on this occasion. I think he'll wait his time. Does not peel off into the pit lane. Jasper Kuismanen, no improvement for him. Brad Hackers also currently sitting in the pit lane. Let's watch Ronald Martinez over the line. The Valkyrie comes, and it will be not an improvement actually. It stays with 204.0. Ashton splits now the two. Actually, no, it's not the two Porsches. It's Norbert Precker and Peter Kuisera behind his Ferrari teammate at by 0.006 of a second. I mean, Corey, if you want, then go for it. If you want, go for it. I mean, you were pretty dominant. No, we will not unban 27 Hulk. We do not need any LMP2s with 3 cars, with 3 tires and no spoiler running across the track. I think we need to watch that spectacle at the moment. Jasper Kuismanen currently still in an outlet. Mohamed Colombo now in the second part of the lap, and it's looking like he's just off Jasper Kuismanen by a little bit. And then he found a lot of time in the middle sector. 6/10 taking out of Kuismanen on that occasion. The championship leader in hypercar looking to put out a very, very good pole lap. Mohamed Colombo now into the final chicane. Number 50A, of course. Ferrari have clinched 2 out of 2 pole positions this season. Qualifying's not over, but Mohamed Colombo is really showing them how quick Ferrari can go. It's a 2 minute point 3. That is 6/10 quicker than Jasper Kuismanen. Let's watch his teammate at 51, Norbert Precker, currently still sitting P3. Precker will cross the line. That will not be enough for an improvement. Unfortunately, it stays with a 201.8. Joseph Green is having a little moment there in the background. LMP2 still, not everybody in LMP2 has gone out. So now Patrick Kubica clinches provisional pole from Joseph Green. And Ron Martinez also still trying to find some time in his Aston Martin Valkyrie. But if you look at these, you can really see the gaps between Precker, Donat, Kusira and Major. It is very, very close between these couple of drivers. I know it's not showing in the graphics at the moment, but oh well, so be it. And now Martinez, oh, big moment there for the Aston Martin. And he flips onto the roof. The game allowing him to come back onto all fours. But everyone is in the pits at the moment, except for top 3. And these top 3, these will be the battle for pole position. Norbert Precker, he has found some time, but he's still 2/10 off Colombo. In Sector 1 and Sector 2 wasn't the best. So he's currently almost a second off Colombo. Precker will have enough time to go again, but what about the other two? Kuismanen this will definitely be his last run. And at the moment he's just barely off his own personal best. And Colombo in the pits, so only one lap for the Ferrari driver. He is convinced that this is enough. Norbert Precker will go across the line, but does he have the fuel? Does he have the tires to go again? He does not. Precker in P3, so it's all about whether Jasper Kuismanen can take it away from Mohamed Colombo. He'll have to find 6/10 to get within striking distance of the Ferrari, and he does not. He bails out. That is your grid for the day. Colombo. So, that is your grid for the day. Mohamed Colombo once again on pole position ahead of Jasper Kuismanen by 6/10 to the Porsche. Then 2 Ferraris, one in P3 and one in P4. Norbert Precker, Nxt Lmu, very close between the two of them. Then another 2 people who were in the fight, Peter Kusira and Dominic Major, very close. I think we'll have a close battle for P3. Ronald Martinez and Brad Hackers a little bit off the pace, P7 and P8 in Hypercar. Then in LMP2, Patrick Kubica leads Joseph Green, and Robert English alongside him will start Max Moron. He'll start 4th in class. Then Corey Jason in the GT3 leading the field once again. Dimitri Bordet is 2nd in GT3. Daniel Aksanov, the leader in LMGT3 AM, ahead of Alphonse Valin. Roland Dozer 3rd in GT3. Then Ben Morris Hodges and Valentino Bossi, 2 GT3 AM drivers. As well as Tio Mazura, Jorge Antonacci, 4th in his class. There's not a lot of GT3 Pro drivers here. Lorenzo Giganti and TJ Rumble. Giganti, an AM driver. Giganti, a Pro driver. Ricky Bobby and Marcel Frozin, 2 AM drivers. On row 12, Taylor and Ilianu on the 13th row. And finally, rounding out the grid will be Dario Lopez in 27th. Don't be concerned about Max Moron, he'll start at the front of the grid. Humid Korkmaz will start in last, the guy who has been banned from qualifying, from competing in qualifying. So, now we all are waiting for the start to unfold.
Formation lap has started.
I mean, you can, Corey, if you want to go for it. It's just down to yourself. We might see some rain, I've heard about that. But now it is time. Why is Columbus car smoking? What am I missing? Oh no, it's dust! It is dust. It's not smoke, it's dust. Apologies here, ladies and gentlemen. We are having some dust up behind the Hyper and LMP2, the two prototype fields leading the immense GT3 class. And we have Porsche against Ferrari on the front row. Once again, these two, Kuismanen and Colombo. It has been a little bit of a one-sided battle, but let's see if Kuismanen can finally take the fight to Colombo in this beautiful Porsche Le Mans special livery. We're not at Le Mans, though. We are currently at Spa-Francorchamps, and now we come into the bus stop. Colombo will dictate the hypercars and the LMP2s. They all start on the main straight. The GT3s will probably start in the bus stop. Maybe not the leaders, but let's look at the leaders in hypercar right now. To the left, the Ferrari. To the right, the Porsche Penske. Who's gonna get the better getaway as the lights go green? Green flag in the back. And now we'll see Mohamed Colombo and Jasper Kuismanen. Jasper Kuismanen notorious for his good starts. Trying to get the better of Mohamed Colombo around the outside. Norbert Precker there on the inside. The second of the Porsche cars. Not a bad getaway for Peter Kusira. And now Kuismanen right on the rear wing of Mohamed Colombo. The two Ferrari, of course, having a little go there at the back. Colombo stays ahead of Kuismanen, who's getting the better run out of Arouge. Colombo trying to break the toe, weaving to the left, to the right, to the left, to the right. Kuismanen tucked in behind the A, of course, Ferrari. Precker trying to find his way past Kuismanen. Is Precker gonna make it too wide here? No, he's not. There's a lot of dust. We can't see a lot. Ashton sends it down the inside on Norbert Precker. The two Ferraris side by side. Kuismanen off the road. He'll have to give a little bit of time back. But Precker, some offense of the number 83. No team orders here at Ferrari whatsoever. As now Ronald Martinez has gone past Dominic Major in the BMW. As still, it's Colombo out in front. As now Precker's having a big moment there, and that will compromise him. And Ashton not in the third Ferrari, I'm sorry. So now, have we lost anyone? Let's look at the LMP2 cars. I think Patrick Kubica and Max Moran into Europol lead 1 and 2 ahead of Joseph Green in P3 for IDC and Robert English in P4. Dimitri Baudet has taken the lead and leads the duo of Mercedes. As now Alphonse Valley, the BMW in all black, hungry for positions, trying to lunge down the inside of his class leader Daniel Aksanov. And Aksanov going a little bit wide there. Alphonse Valley does smell a chance to maybe put up a switchback rumble with an excellent start. Some points like this could be near for Ferrari. Maurice Hodges in P6. Anton Ashley has started from the pit lane. But other than that, where's our qualifying Benz? Human Korkmaz in P10. So now Joseph Green has made a mistake and has fallen behind the GT3 field. But other than that, I don't think a lot has happened. As now Norbert Precker lost the car. A very smooth rejoin. Could be a little bit dangerous. But he didn't take any damage or lost a lot of time. Just very unfortunate for him, as Colombo now leading Kuismanen almost a second ahead of the Porsche. That is exactly what he is looking for. Is now the of course Ferrari is being chased down by number 5. This is very good for Porsche. Precker was gonna score. Was a good point scorer, and this is also good for Kuismanen. So now Max Moran has had a little visit into the gravel trap. So now we have McLaren in the gravel. And now, not Maurice Hodges, it was Aksanov who went onto the gravel. We're gonna have a side-by-side action through Rouge. Mercedes in the outside, the Corvette over the curb. But the Vet now getting compromised there. There's a lot of cutting going on there from the McLaren of Mazda Frosine. And Corey Jason's in that fight as well. And now he's having a go on it. 1, 2, 3 gain positions for the BMW. Corey Jason up into P5. Or will he get Aksanov under braking? Aksanov on the inside, the AMG, the Good Smile AMG. Just allowing that move to be safe enough as a Team WRT BMW now moves past and good smile. AMG. So, Dimitri Bode leads GT3 out of Thomas Rumble, who's now ahead of F1's Velling. It's the second place for Ferrari. It's definitely those guys, something those guys will be looking forward to. So now Max Moran has decided to call it a day. It was seemingly enough. Patrick Kubica leads the LMP2 field ahead of Robert English. We have this train, the two McLarens. With one Corvette and with Andrew Taylor in this mix as well. Everybody shuttling for positions. And now we'll have the tower after these opening 5 minutes of the race. Now Dominic Major in pursuit of Ronald Martinez. The Valkyrie against the BMW. The BMW all against up the wall. Now finally a little bit of breathing space here. And Ronald Martinez hangs on to that position, but has to cut an awful lot of track. And that will give him a big track limit warning. So Ronald Martinez is now in pursuit of Peter Crisera, who's falling off Ashnell Gnaw, and Ashnell Gnaw seemingly has found some immaculate pace here. Has there maybe been a little bit of contact between Colombo and Kuismanen, or was O'Donnell just that rapid? So yeah, it might not be the Ferrari he is scared of being Norbert Precker. But a Ferrari up behind, that's the last thing you want to see. Especially in hypercar. So now Corey Jason has cleared Ben Morris Hodges and he's on his way in P4 to get P3 to get into the podium positions. There's a lot of stuff happening on track at the moment. So now Dominic Major has closed up to 5th place in hypercar. The Aston Martin Valkyrie, and that is Ashnell Gnaw in the gravel. What happened there? Maybe just went a little bit wide, but now it's going to be a 3-way hypercar field. The BMW hunting down the Valkyrie, and now the Ferrari gets in that fight as well. Precker on the inside. Martinez is going to have the advantage here. Now Precker on the inside of Major gets the place and gets up into P6, P4, P5. Actually, now Precker around the outside will try to challenge Ronald Martinez. Maybe he'll get the Aston Martin on the acceleration. The Aston Martin doesn't have a hybrid, it does not matter. On the acceleration though, and there's a little bit of contact between the Ferrari and the Aston Martin. And now the BMW of Dominic Major slips through. Martinez against Precker. Martinez on the inside. A little bit of sliding there for Ronald Martinez, and that will compromise his exit. But Norbert Precker moves ahead of Ronald Martinez, but that did help Dominic Major quite a bit, and that also helped Porsche Penske Motorsports as they're now running 2 and 3. Yeah, Porsche will definitely need some big points here to try and gain on Ferrari, because the second of the Ferraris is now a little bit under pressure to get back within striking distances. Martinez has now been passed by Hackers in the number 36 Alpine, but Martinez is looking like he's going to have a fight back at it. Donal now last in hypercar, number 83. Donal is just that much later on the brakes. Where's the Alpine? Where's Hackers? He's still up in front. And Major has been passed with Precker, and Precker will now try to get the Porsches back. It's now Kuismanen and Colombo in single file. Colombo 1 second ahead of Kuismanen. This is a good distance for Colombo. He doesn't want Kuismanen too close up his exhaust. Kuismanen a little visit to the gravel trap, and once again onto the wet curbs. Robert Martinez struggling with the Valkyrie. Trying to find grip, but there is not a lot. Patrick Kubica still leading Robert English. Robert English is not falling off. He's staying within striking distance. And all three of these cars in LMP2 are equally matched right now, looking at the lap times. 24.8 Kubica, 24.5 English, 24.2 Green. In GT3, TJ Rumble is closing in on Dimitri Baldet. Alphonse Valley now will have company by Corey Jason. Corey Jason going out very wide. Corey Jason still looking like the fastest driver on the road. But he'll have to get past that big BMW. But he'll be in a big BMW himself, as now we have a little bit of a closer fight up behind. Ben Morris Hodges getting company by his class leader, Daniel Aksanov. This is for the class lead in LMGT3 AM and 5th overall in GT3. Aksanov having a moment there, but the AMG is able to avoid the wall. That is Giganti, and that is Korkmaz. Giganti, part of his own class. Human Korkmaz, not his class, but they still want to fight for the overall win here in GT3. So at the moment, not a lot of hypercars happening. We have currently Ono in the pursuit of hackers. Ono very, very close, trying to get every bit of possible tow from that Alpine. It's blue against yellow. Some very nice looking cars, two of the best, might even say. And now the 83 makes a move down the inside. Actually, he does not quite yet. He will be within striking distance, but I think Dono is playing the long game here, trying to force hackers into a mistake. I think Colombo might try to hold up Kuismanen here, so Cracker can get back within the fight. Cracker's still up behind Kusira, but it's not a big of a gap anymore. And now as we go through Blogimont, peaking at the hypercar top speed there. And now Dono will have the outside line. He'll take the outside line. He'll be much later on the brakes, and Dono breaks himself his way past the 36 Alpine and moves up into 6th position. And now we have another little battle here. Baldet on the inside, Rumble on the outside. Ferrari against Lexus. The Lexus now 9 years old. A very, very old GT3 car. It's now that McLaren in the back is Marcel Frozin. He is lapped. We have lost 3 people. Max Moron in LMP2 and Jorge Antonacci and Ricky Bobby, the two Porsches in GT3, which leaves us with 3 LMP2s and 15 GT3s. Well, actually, my bad for what I said earlier. Morris Hodges is not the class leader in GT3 AM. Gigantini now onto the gravel. There's a lot of punting between these two AMGs, and now Human Korkmaz smells a chance to get down the inside of the championship leader in GT3 AM. A little bit of argy-bargy between the two of them, but Korkmaz finds his way past. Now this is Giganti against Aksanov. This is for position. And these two are definitely gonna try to have a go on it at it. Morris Hodges out wide, Korkmaz out wide. That's gonna compromise him. Is a good small Mercedes gonna smell a chance to maybe put it down the inside? He does indeed. Late on the brakes for Aksanov. Korkmaz gives him the space he needs. Aksanov now compromised, and now there's Gigantini on the inside, but Gigantini does have a little moment there. And that cost him a little bit, and you know who this is helping? Andrew Taylor and Theo Mazur, who are now having a little drag race of their own down the main straight. Mazur round the outside on Taylor. Taylor's gonna have the better line for the corner, but Mazur will have the better exit as Taylor gets a little slip there, and that is not gonna help him. Will Mazur now try to put it past? As Dimitri Baldet seemingly has made a mistake, because now there's a little bit of argy-bargy between the two BMWs, but now Andrew Taylor, what a defense from him against the Mercedes, but now the Mercedes should be quicker in a straight line. Let's look ahead, the Lexus on the pursuit from Morris Hodges, but there moves to the inside. Morris Hodges will have to take it around the outside. Does he manage to do it? He does, but does he manage to stand on track? Human Korkmaz joins the party, a three-way fight. In LMGT3, Korkmaz round the outside. Well, there all of a sudden. The Lexus trying to reclaim their position. Argy-bargy between the two of them. And now the Lexus will try to set it down the inside on Human Korkmaz. Human Korkmaz turns in. There's a lot of contact between the two of them. But I think that they might have regained his position. Korkmaz is not done yet, and he does get the inside line. Has he overshot into the gravel just a little bit? This fight is not over. Baudet is still smelling blood, still trying to get past the McLaren car, but he can't quite. This is for third place in LMGT3. It's now TJ Rumble leads for Ferrari. What an exciting battle between the five of these guys. Oh, my bad. I apologize. Now let's jump on board with the Lexus, so you can see how close it is between these guys, how close it is between the Lexus and the McLaren. It's not entirely flat in the wet, and the Lexus of Baudet is notorious for having an absurdly straight line speed. Korkmaz trying to defend the inside for the upcoming corner of Logimont, Baudet stays behind, knowing this is not a good overtaking spot, especially not in the wet. And now he's tucked up behind the McLaren. Later breaks there for the Lexus. Even later for Human Korkmaz. Human Korkmaz very late on the brakes. And this little bunch of drivers is currently the fight for P4 overall, as TJ Rumble is leading in LMGT3 and Alphonse Valin is leading in LMGT3 He's got Corey Jason behind. Corey Jason has not made a lot of progress ever since he reached the top 3. But these two BMWs are scaring. They are very scaringly fast. And they're closing in on the Ferrari. And now we have a big train of cars. Now the leaders come through. There's Mohamed Colombo. There's Jasper Kuismanen. I think Colombo has gotten a little bit luckier with the traffic, as now Kuismanen sails past these two. Morris Hodges trying to defend the inside line. Korkmaz is having a look at it, but doesn't really quite go for the scent there on Ben Morris Hodges. It's now Daniel Axonov in P7, pursued by Lorenzo Gigante and Theo Mazur. Andrew Taylor having a little fight with Valentino Vossi. Then we have Curtis Ilianu, who's having a little fight with Dario Lopez. And then we have finally Roland Dozer and Marcel Frozin, who are currently lapped down on the class leaders. And that is just about it. Here, as now Dimitri Baudet is smelling a chance to get past Ben Morris Hodges. Human Korkmaz has seemingly gotten past him. I'd use the replay tool, but it's not ideal. Argy-bargy between the Mercedes and the Lexus, and the AMG is off. Ben Morris Hodges on the racing line. Will he get the car rotated? Yes, he does. But did he take out any one of the processes? It looks like Gigantini has been hit. Has Mazur been hit? It doesn't look like it, but it looks like there's a lot of cars. There's a lot of carnage in the back happening. An awful lot of carnage between Hypercar and LMGT3. Morris Hodges off in the gravel once again. Down in P10 currently. That is Human Korkmaz in P4. Let's look at what the Hypercar is happening. Godard is smelling a chance to get down the inside on the BMW. They get the Mercedes now, and the BMW gets compromised by that Mercedes AMG. I think that might be Theo Mazur. They are now up behind, and Ashno Lenore moves back up into P4. Peter Kusira has been compromised an awful lot there by the traffic. No Praga had to go over the grass there. So that leaves Ferrari back in 1 and 3. Now LMP2, the fight's getting closer and closer. Patrick Kubica is leading by 2 seconds ahead of Robert English, who's leading ahead of 1 second by Joseph Green. Tiamazu into the pit lane. Ben Morris Hodges into the pit lane. Lorenzo Gigantini into the pit lane. We have 1 hour and 10 minutes left, so that is definitely not a stop. This is definitely not the last stop, so these guys will be on a 2-stop at least. So now Corey Jason has, in all that carnage, Corey Jason has gone past Alphonse Valin and is now going to try to get to TJ Rumble, who's still in the lead of this race in the number 66 car. And now TJ Rumble commentators curse at its finest, and that is the Ferrari off into the barrier. He clipped the grass there on exit, on entry, and yeah, just no can do for TJ Rumble. That means he's out of the race. It's now Baudet and Axon of LMG3 AM against LMGT3. Side to side between the two of them. A little bit of argy-bargy, but Lexus is ahead. Axonov not happy about that action. There's a lot of contact in this race. These guys are all fully going at it. Gives me strong IMSA vibes, to be honest. So now the Valk is coming through. The Valkyrie is flying past the two of them. Well, Martinez getting Dimitri Baudet, and maybe Axonov is going to have a run on Baudet, but Lexus is probably the only car that's quicker in a straight line than the Mercedes. Yeah, Axonov is not really able to close in on that gap. And now Joseph Green against Robert English fight in LMP2. The first bit of racing we've seen from these two. Now there's contact with the GT3 between Robert English and the GT3 of... Where is he? Kuchis Iliano, but he somehow saved it and kept it out of the barrier. But that could be something that could be taken to the steward. TJ Rumble DNF, Marcel Frosin DNF. And Ben Morris Hodges still sitting in the pit lane in P13 and GT3. So we've lost 5 cars, 4 of which in the GT3 class. No DNFs in hypercars. Norbert Precker is having a go onto the grass, a little visit there, and that puts him out of contention for a potential podium at the minute, but the gap is not too big to Ashton. No, he just will have to get past Peter Kosira. Both the second cars in the championship standings are currently now wheel to wheel as Norbert Precker just does not commit to that corner. Peter Kosira getting past the BMW of Alphonse Valin there. And Norbert Precker just saw it and thought that isn't worth it. And rightfully so. So I'm now up behind the class leading BMW of Corey Jason in GT3. Not just the class leading, but also the overall leading BMW. He's currently pulling away from Alphonse Valin. So now Precker is going to have a go on it on Kosira. Porsche against Ferrari, quite familiar with that battle. That's a battle that's happening at the front at the moment, but this time the roles are reversed. The Porsche out of the Ferrari, and now they're going through Blanchimont. Over 300 kilometers an hour you reach in the hypercar there, and suddenly there's the Alpine of Brad Hackers there as well in that, making this a 3-way fight. Another one of the AMGs coming to the pit lane. Ben Morris Hodges also has called the day. That is Tiamazu into the pits. The cut-off race, he would have won it. Now that I'm seeing this could have been so many points, man. Oh, why did I have to stream this race? I mean, Axonov has a pretty big advantage over me, so I'm probably not going to be able to do anything in the championship either. But yeah, now we have a little battle here between Preka and Kusira. Preka is going to try late on the brakes. Yes, he does. Norman Preka late on the brakes there, ahead of Patrick Kusira. Peter Kusira, my bad there. But Peter Kusira trying to find a way back, but the Ferrari just zooms past on the brakes ahead of the Porsche. Now Ronald Magnus is getting closer and closer to this battle up in front. It does look like, looking at the fastest times at the moment, Colombo 15.3, Kuismanen 15.7, pretty evenly matched I'd say. Then Oldenau 16.9, Preka 16.8, those are the guys in the 60s, and Major, Kusira, two in the 70s, then Hackers in the 18s, and Martinez lapping in the 19s. The LMP2s are pretty evenly matched, as now Joseph Green has taken the lead. As Patrick Kubica has DNF'd somehow. So now Corey Jason not happy with the way Ronald Martinez overtook him. As now Colombo's made a mistake, and now Kuismanen is challenging him. This is the battle for the lead. Kuismanen tries to cut Colombo off. Colombo will try to get the battle run out of Rouge, cutting a little bit off the track there. That will certainly give him a warning, but how many of these warnings can he afford? Colombo now will try to get the run on Kuismanen. They're side by side into the chicane. Colombo a little bit late on the brakes there. Kuismanen trying to find a way to set up the switchback, but Colombo just zooms past the Porsche and into the lead once again. Kuismanen getting a little bit compromised there on the exit. And there was a chance for Kuismanen, potentially because Colombo made a mistake going into turn 1. Or maybe there was some traffic in the way. There's a Mustang in the way, and Colombo's having to go over the grass there to avoid him. But somehow no collision, and Colombo flashing lights furious. Colombo is quite notorious for being not exactly a calm driver. I think his tires are overheating just a little bit, as he's now sliding a lot, trying to keep Kuismanen behind. It's a little bit of a... Well, these two are not always the nicest people to each other. Now Colombo has the bat up in front. That will be the number 33 car of Dario Lopez. Shouldn't be an issue for him though to get ahead of that car, because he just got that 300 horsepower more than the vet. Oh my god, what on earth was the guy just witnessed there? Okay, wait. No, we've lost the plot. There we are. Still fighting for our lead, the second Porsche and the second Ferrari also fighting, but for P5 instead, as Ashnell Noise is starting to pull away from Dominic Major. It will definitely be a heated remaining 1 hour we still got ahead of us. Now Axon off, give me a good camera angle, mate. Axonov against Korkmaz into the final chicane. This is for overall third position. Axonov has a mega gap of 16 seconds up ahead to his class leader Alphonse Velin, who's only 3 seconds behind the overall race leader, Corey Jason. Axonov definitely looking like the quicker driver here, looking at the lap times, a 33.5 against Korkmaz 37.0. Not a good Smile Racing AMG on the rear wing of that McLaren 720S GT3 Evo. Kind of get the Evo, the dominant car in the ACC division. So Norbert Precker into the pit lane in hypercar. That does give me an idea. Let's look at the hypercar. Virtual Energy, Colombo 38, Kuismanen 42, Audin 36, Major 42, Cosiro 41, Hackers 44, Martinez 44. So that's an incredibly early stop from Ferrari. So looking at this little battle unfolding here. Between the two of them, we have lost quite a bunch of the GT3 cars. 5 of 6 overall. Still remaining with 11 GT3s. Axonov now up behind the McLaren of Korkmaz. Trying to set up a better exit there, but there's the LMP2 leader. Joseph Green coming through. Korkmaz trying to defend the inside line. Wanting the LMP2 alongside him, but he went way too deep there. Now there's a chance for Axonov to maybe get the run down towards the Rouge. Is he gonna try to go down the inside of famous left-right combination? Will be certain death in these conditions. He does decide against it. And now the AMG will have a much better run onto the Camel Straight as he top Radeon. And now the AMG will zoom past the McLaren, or will he? Korkmaz going for the defensive line. Argy-bargy between the two of them. Korkmaz wheel hooking the two of them. This might be a penalty for the McLaren driver, because that definitely wasn't sportsmanlike in any way. I don't know if Precker leaving the pit lane. He's been passed by the LMP2 field. Okay, back to the fight in GT3. Oh, oops. We're running on board with a good Smile Racing AMG. This Korkmaz going a little bit wide there. Now Axonov in close pursuit. They are the leaders. That is Colombo. Oh no, that is Preka, I think. And that is Robert English, who gets compromised in the LMP2 machinery by Humid Korkmaz. Axonov now potentially smelling a chance. That is Jasper Kuismanen, who's getting caught up in GT3 traffic. That definitely does not play into his cards. And he decides to go into the pits and use this chance to maybe make an undercut on Mohamed Colombo, as Axonov still trying everything to get ahead. Of the McLaren, but now Dimitri Baudet is joining the party. He's not exactly racing him. So to give you guys a quick recap currently of the podiums, it's Corey Jason, Humid Korkmaz, and Dimitri Baudet. That is your top 3 in GT3 Split 1 at the moment. Then there's Alphonse Vedin, Daniel Axonov, and Valentino Vossi in GT3 AM. Oh, so many easy points. Kuismanen now coming out in last position because the Valkyrie will get past him by the time he rolls out of the pits. He's still not even halfway through the pit lane. Now he should be halfway through the pit lane. It's an awfully long pit lane, so a drive-through penalty can cost you your race quite quickly because you might end up lapped. Now the Alpine of Brad Hackers, he's not been too quick in qualifying, but in the rain he's seemingly coming alive and finding his way into the 17s alongside Ronald Martinez. And Peter Kuisera. We have Kuismanen, Major, and Colombo lapping in the 15s. We have Donald and Prekel lapping in the 16s. Then we have Hackers, Martinez, and Kuisera lapping in the 17s. And I think Peter Kuisera might be under a little bit of pressure here from the Alpine. Porsche does need every point they can get. Currently, Kuisera is running 5th place provisionally. The Alpine will definitely try to find a way past this guy as well. And now down the inside of the Alpine, Kuisera peels to the pit lane. Early pit stops for Porsche Penske Motorsport. The 6 was in already, and the 5 will follow. As Humid Korkmaz has lost a little bit of ground against those two. Axonov now up into 2nd, 3rd position overall. Now No is lapping them. Is lapping him. On the outside goes the of course hypercar. This is one of 2 times that the AMG will see a hypercar lapping him. The other being Le Mans towards the end of the season. And yeah, this is your GT3 Pro and overall GT3 leader, Corey Jason, who leads about 4.5 seconds ahead of Alphonse Vedin in 2nd place. He's a GT3 AM driver. So they're not directly bound to fight. But the overall win would, I think both of them would like to have that, even though they will win their classes on their own. Kuisera still sitting in the pit lane. And the number 5 Porsche Penske Motorsport car does eventually roll out. They have not passed the LMP2 class yet. So Colombo's having a little drift down turn 1. So Kuismanen will come up behind LMP2 traffic of Robert English and Joseph Green. There goes Kuismanen. Kuismanen currently 40 seconds behind Martinez. Not gonna see any stops. Colombo, Donor, and Major all stay out. But Hacker stays out. What about Ron Martinez? He stays out as well. So now Korkmaz does not have the pace to go with Molde and Exanov. Exanov picking up the pace, trying to get back with Alphonse Valin, but at the moment they're going almost the identical pace. Just barely beaten by the leader out in front, Corey Jason, who's pulling away ever so slightly. But at the moment there's not any on-track battles. Kuismanen against Precker, that is still a fight we should look forward to. But Precker had to repel a lot of damage from his contact with a wall earlier. So Dominic Major, he's 4 seconds behind second overall, National Nor. But Nor is definitely not looking like he has the pace to catch Colombo at the moment. Speaking of Colombo, he stays out for one more lap, so he's trying a massive overcut on Kuismanen. I think most of these drivers have already decided to go onto the slick tires. Looking at Precker, he's on the wets. Kuismanen on the wets. Actually, no one has decided to go onto the slick set. You can definitely see a dry line up here, but obviously we don't know how wet it is. Only these drivers do. You have a very slim, wet, dry line there. Kuismanen to the gravel there. I think Colombo might try to overbridge this dry to wet period. There's now BMW and BMW. Hypercar and GT3 coming very close together. Was there someone in the gravel? Might have been Older Knob. He's not too far up the road. Might also have been Robert English, who's now up in front of the BMW hypercar, who's currently running third, but provisionally will drop down to P5 or P4. Let's have a look at the energy that these hypercars still have on board. Colombo with a 23% on the battery, Measure with 24, Donor with 18, Hackers with 28, Martinez with 25, Jasper Kuismanen obviously just having stopped with 78, Precker with 66, and Kuismanen with 84. As we now approach the halfway mark of this race. Well, a single DNF and hypercar yet, but I'm barely saying nothing because I'm just going to end up jinxing them with a commentator's curse. I think all of these drivers that are still out on track will try to get their car into the pit lane. As now Ramsey Novozzi is catching on Human Korkmaz. That not by just a bit. Andrew Taylor in the pits. Number 21 Ferrari. Having a little burnout there. Careful, Andrew. Those tires will still be pretty cold in the pits. And he's on slicks. Andrew Taylor is on slick tires. So he'll basically be the one to gamble for it. Is it dry enough? And everybody, especially in G3, will be looking at what he's doing. Precker into the pit lane. Is this a retirement or is this a switch to... It is a switch to the hard compound of tires for Norbert Precker. It is a big old gamble for the Ferrari crew. But he might try something for Colombo here. We'll definitely be looking at his lap times. Taylor now creeping out onto the racetrack. Those tires will be as cold as ice. And it'll feel like driving on ice as well. Andrew Taylor now demoted to 9th position overall, falling behind Roland Dozer in his class. So it's not that big of a gamble if you think about it, because most of his class is actually already out of the race, but Taylor not having any chance to make that turn. Just way too wet out there. Norbert Precker now coming out the pit lane. Should Porsche maybe try the same with Kuismanen? Should Kuismanen maybe try the lap rat for Kuismanen? Oh no, Curtis Lmu has retired. Actually not too long ago. Brad Hacker's currently P4, trying to chase down the 3rd place BMW now that he lost his playmate Peter Kuismanen. Into a pit stop. Joseph Green into the pit lane now. Robert English able to go one more lap. 3 classes here. English having a look at it on Kuismanen down the inside. Kuismanen getting compromised there a little bit. Both of them will try to fight past, but I think Robert English will be the one to get past first. To the right goes the Porsche. Robert English now down the inside on the AMG. And they all three just get out of the corner alive. Joseph Green, we'll see what he decided to do in just a second. But now I think Precker's tires should be warm. He's taking a very careful approach, or is. Let's check the tires for everybody. Still everyone on wets. Let's check the hypercars. Does look like... Oh yes, Kuismanen and Kuismanen, both Penske's, have decided to go for the mediums as Precker is on the softs. I think the soft might definitely be the better tire here. Now in GT3, everyone is on the wet except for Andrew Taylor, who's now 5th overall. Kuismanen is now gaining, so it might be time now to switch onto dry tires, and Colombo's doing exactly that, but he's opting for the mediums instead. It's definitely possible to finish this race with this set of tires. But has Kuismanen done enough? That is the question. Where is the Porsche now? He'll have to stop again. He's currently rounding the non-lane corner and will reach Pouhon in the nick of time. Aldenau into the pit lane. Major into the pit lane. Hackers will reach the pits in the nick of time. Joseph Green gaining ever so slightly on Robert English, and he stays out. Hackers stays out. Colombo is here. Kuismanen is now rounding Blanchimont. No, it's now approaching Blanchimont, my bad. Colombo still has half the pit lane ahead of him. Yeah, it does look like Kuismanen has some front end damage. Apologies for seeing it this late, but the tool is not out all the way, so I'm not all the time, so I'm not exactly able to see everything at all times. And now the track drives up Colombo and Kuismanen, putting it into the 13th. Colombo will reach the end of the pit lane soon. Kuismanen now out of turn 1. Colombo can put out the pit limiter and said that Ferrari, of course, flying. He'll have to be very careful on this first lap, though. It's 6.2 seconds, the gap right now. 6 seconds flat. Nordprecker now overtakes Joseph Green. Robert English has served his stop. I don't think it'll be enough for him. Mohamed Colombo now trying to get his tires up to temperature. Here comes Jasper Kuismanen up behind Corey Jason. Not trying to waste any time, but you can't just send it there. You need to be smart with it. Something tells me that Colombo will not go easy on Kuismanen if he catches him. 2.8 seconds is the gap at the moment. 2.6. Kuismanen's definitely quicker at the moment, having heat in these tires. Check Robert English coming out. Joseph Green. It will not be enough for Robert English to undercut Joseph Green. But now let's go back to the front. Colombo still in pursuit of Kuismanen, but his tires are getting warmer and warmer. Every lap that he makes, he gets... every meter he makes, he'll get more heat into these tires. And he'll be quicker and quicker by the minute. The thing for Kuismanen is he will not be able... Oh, both of them in the gravel. This could have been a good chance for Kuismanen to catch up. I wonder who in this stage of the race is on a wet setup and who is on a dry setup. The gap is now 7 tenths. Colombo's tires should be somewhat warm by now, but the Ferrari is not too good on the tires when it comes to warm-up. Porsche through a Rouge in pursuit of Colombo. Kuismanen has the better run, most certainly. Colombo defends the inside line, squeezes Kuismanen to the outside, but gives him car width. Colombo will try late on the brakes, but pulls out. Kuismanen pulls ahead for the minute. Let's look at the energy we have remaining on these cars. Kuismanen sitting on 63%, Colombo on 61%. So none of them will have to pit. And Hacker still has 50 more percent. What in the tires? What in this fuel saving? Back to multi-class results. And Corey Jason has been caught by Daniel. Oh, never mind. We're both in the pits. Valentino was into the pits. Alvan Velling, the theoretical leader in GT3 at the moment. Jason now trying to get some heat into these tires by drifting across the track. Now Colombo has the temperatures in these tires, flashing Jasper Kuismanen to let him know I'm here. Maybe a little bit of mind games between the two of them. He's moving aside. Colombo late on the brakes against Kuismanen. Down the inside goes the Ferrari. Does he oversend it? Yes, he does. Colombo with a Thomas Prining send, as I like to call it. Kuismanen not happy, flashing the lights. Colombo potentially having a little bit of front end damage, while Kuismanen has a little bit of rear end damage. try to go for it again. There's Aksanov. Where's Velin? Aksanov will get passed by Velin. I think Kuismanen just has a tiny advantage for a Rouge. Attackers now coming out of the pit lane. National Non, Dominic Major also really close to each other. Kuismanen picking his moment. The right moment, awfully close to the rear of that Porsche 963. Was the 49P. Jasper Kuismanen struggling for traction as a rear tries to have his have its moment. Oh, and now there's a GT3 in the worst possible position for Kuismanen, and Colombo gets a better run out of Pouon. Now, will there be a move into the chicanes? I don't think so. It's not a good spot to overtake. Colombo does notice that, cuts the grass a little bit there. Now onto the long straight. Both of them like to tip the gravel trap a little bit there. So let's see who will do it this time around. Colombo will do it this time around. Kuismanen is now starting to pull away a little bit. Kuismanen gets a vet before Blanchimont. Colombo gets a vet before Blanchimont. Robert English getting the lights from Jasper Kuismanen. Kuismanen will try to move to get it done down the inside, but English doesn't move out of the way in time. Colombo around the outside, and there's more traffic. Gets compromised a little bit by the LMP2 there, Colombo. Oh, Robert English having a little moment there. It will be an easy P2 for him if we can just hold on to this. But overall, what can we say? Aksanov gained an awful lot on Velin on that last lap. So the fight for MG3 AM lead might be just around the corner. Colombo definitely gaining an awful lot of time on the brakes. Kuismanen seemingly a little bit better exit, but this time Colombo just gained half a second in one corner on the Porsche. I don't know, did he clip the gravel there, or was it just LMU being LMU? I don't know. Colombo's absolutely flying, he's coming closer. Taking tenths out of Kuismanen every corner. What does Kuismanen have up his sleeve for the Ferrari drive? And I think the best place for Colombo to overtake will be into the bus stop chicane. Now don't clip the gravel on the outside. And both of them do actually, but Kuismanen does a little bit more, and Colombo now tries to go for down the inside. Kuismanen will now have the inside line through Blanchimont. Colombo gonna go around the outside of the corner. Yes, he does. Colombo off the track, but Kuismanen off the track as well. So neither of them has had an advantage over the other. And he regains the lead. Mohamed Colombo on this lap. 32 minutes to go. I took a display battle for a second here with Dominic Major against Arsenal No. As now both of them do the Colombo or the Kuismanen, however you want to call it. All of the drivers seemingly, these hypercar drivers do like this gravel trap a lot. I mean, W is still in pursuit of the Ferrari, of course, car. Now might have to switch to the leaders. It's very close, but it's getting very close between the two of them. Yeah, it does. Kuismanen tries to go around the outside for the lead of the race. Colombo claims the inside line. Kuismanen is now going to have the inside line. Colombo drives him off the road. Argy-bargy between the Porsche and the Ferrari. Kuismanen shuts Colombo off. Colombo trying to have a go on it on the exit. Kuismanen in the gravel trap there. Come on, boys. It's not exactly clean racing between you two. You both can do better. Kuismanen flashing the lights. Not really happy with Colombo. But I don't think either of these drivers are happy with the other at the very moment. We are missing... Where is Timo? Timo, I'm missing you if you're watching. Timo, I'm missing you in the chat. Might have to change once again to battle for 4th place because it's getting very close between the two of them at the moment. 6-10 to get between Major and Denar. Staying the way it is at the moment. These two should be in the 2nd sector, so there might be a little bit of... Might be a little bit something going on. Baudet is now catching also on Korkmaz in GT3 currently. Now Colombo is in a position for Kuismanen once again. Late on the brakes down the inside. Is he going to go for it? The Porsche's brakes light up, but Kuismanen losing the rear there. That will give Colombo the advantage on the exit of the corner and on the entry on the corner. A little bit of too much of braking pressure for applied by Jasper Kuismanen there. Now TF Sports Corvette. They should get past him quite easily. Ganti moving aside. This is what you don't want as a hypercar driver. GT3s that move out of the way. It's all nice from you. But, oh my god. Wait, what? Ashton, no. No! A disconnection for the 83. No. A disconnect for the 83. Are you kidding me? Especially on this track with a long pit lane. Oh no. Not bad luck for him. That will be good for Dominic Major because he now has an uncontested podium. As well as Brad Hackers because he will get a P4. Some big points for Alpine and some big points for Porsche because Peter Casero will be promoted. But while these two are going at it, let's go to the other side of the track where Lexus and McLaren are fighting over a potential P2 in class. Alphonse Valin is closing in on Corey Jason. The top three definitely in a class of their own at the moment. Corey Jason, Alphonse Valin, Daniel Aksanov. Now Baudet against Korkmaz. Korkmaz! Once again, it's Korkmaz who's involved in a big collision. And this time it was all on him once again. Baudet into the pit lane. That definitely will be a big penalty coming the way of Humid Korkmaz. If he keeps on doing this, this might result in a season ban. Because this is some unacceptable driving behavior by the McLaren driver. But other than that, there is not a lot of battles to watch, to look forward to at the moment. All the top three, 39.8 in the first sector. 39.868 Corey Jason, 39.845 Alphonse Valli, 39.863 Daniel Aksanov. Dead even between the three of them. This could be a very nice battle to watch if they were right alongside each other on the track. But fortunately for us, they are not. Other than that, it's just really the battle for the lead. Colombo and Kuismanen trying to find their way in between these GT3 cars. We have this beautiful Aston Martin Valkyrie ASMR delivered by the 009 and Ronald Martinez as we have 25 minutes remaining in this session. National Law tumbling down the order. Kuismanen not getting on Columbus. Kuismanen gonna send down the inside. He wants him with a flash of light. Colombo gives him the space. Not really a very successful move for Kuismanen there. He'll definitely have a go at it on another occasion of the track though. So now Corey Jason is definitely picking up the pace there and driving away from these two. In behind, Exonov still able to go the very same pace as Corey Jason at the moment. Both in the 39.3, or in Exonov's case, 39.2s in the first sector, but Alphonse Velling is dropping off a little bit. Losing having lost 1 second in the first sector, and losing 3 more tenths in the second to Jason. Exonov has a very, very big gap of 13 or 14 seconds ahead of him if he wants to get past Valley into the race lead into the 3 AM. Colombo and Kuismanen are behind the Valkyrie. Lap car there, Ronald Martinez. Oh, and Kuismanen and Exonov getting up close and personal there, especially for Kuismanen. Ronald Martinez not ready, moving out of the way yet. He is for the Ferrari, but not... He's not really, and there's a big one for Colombo and Martinez as they come together as Martinez is lapping them, and that just gifted Jasper Kuismanen the win. Played him into the cards perfectly, and that is the win going Jasper Kuismanen's way, pretty much. What was that from Ronald Martinez? Drama in the closing stages of this race. Now Colombo and Exonov are getting toe-to-toe. No contact between these two though. Colombo will have to push like a madman to try and get back to Jasper Kuismanen. 3 cars are currently in a 206 as being Jasper Kuismanen, Mohamed Colombo and Norbert Precker. Norbert Precker though being 1 lap down due to his lap 1 collision, or no, lap 1 spin. Another bad race. Not essentially bad race, but just bad luck for no Precker. Colombo took out 3 tenths out of Kuismanen that last second. Now almost took out 3 seconds out of Kuismanen. Kuismanen has to go into the pit lane. Or he just decides to. Kuismanen with a stop. Another stop for Porsche. Looking at the energy in hypercar, Colombo with 35%. Kuismanen Is he repairing some suspension damage, perhaps? Or is Colombo confident that he can go until the end of this race? We'll see. Because it did look like Kuismanen had it all clear. This is Dominic Major, third place car. He'll take Kuismanen. He'll overtake Kuismanen. And that is Norbert Precker, the 51 car. He's not allowed to fight Kuismanen. Blue flags do state that you have to let cars that are in your own class by, unless they're a lot quicker than you are. That promotes Dominic Major to P2 if he can. Save enough fuel. Let's look at his virtual energy. Major might have enough to get to the end of this race. I think he will. Did Kuismanen just go from being the top contender to maybe not making it? Major will definitely have to fuel save, but also go quick at the same time, because Kuismanen is 25 seconds up behind. It still has 20 more minutes to go. This could be a surprising first podium and second place for BMW. And Major might want to let Precker go, because Precker's personal best is over 2 seconds quicker than Major's. Looking into GT3 Corey Jason leads by 15 seconds, driving away from the likes of Valley and Axonov. Now in the 22s, Corey Jason lapping at 22s, Valley and Axonov in the 24s. Hubert Kolkma has the slowest car in GT3 on track at the moment. That is Dario Lopez at the moment we are seeing here. Yeah, is there any... There's no battle at the moment. We've lost Robert English on the last lap. So that will be another win going to the likes of Joseph Green. Brad Hackers is now gaining on Jasper Kuismanen. Did Jasper Kuismanen maybe pick new tires? That might explain why Brad Hackers gained that much. Yeah, I can think of it. Bob, I can think of it. Let's go on board with the number 6 car of Jasper Kuismanen. So the times are getting quicker and quicker here in hypercar. Jasper Kuismanen currently with fast lap of the race, a 2:04.3. Mohamed Kalamba not pushing at all at the moment. He's just field saving until the end. What is the energy remaining? He has over 1 minute. He's over 1 minute ahead of Jasper Kuismanen. What is the energy remaining currently? 25 and the 2 cars in front. So I think it should be enough for those 2. The Porsches are definitely heavier than the cars around them. But they also have more fuel on board. Kuismanen is definitely saving a lot more at the moment. No, not Kuismanen, Major is saving a lot more than Kalamba at the moment. But for context, it is 33.7 Major, 33.1 Kuismanen, 33.3 Hackers, 33.2 Tracker, and Colombo actually in invalid first sector. 56.2 Colombo, 57.0 Major, and we'll have Kuismanen second sector, 55.6. So Major is definitely just taking a lot more careful approach than the cars around him. He does want to try to get BMW at first podium, and I mean, once Kuismanen is behind him, he'll have to find a way past as well. And that is not always easy, especially since the dirty air in these cars, in these hypercars, is because it's an aerodynamical car. Dirty air is quite effective on these cars. Let's see when Major is currently rounding Riedel. Whereas Colombo is going the same pace as Kuismanen roughly at the moment. So that is, these are the last 10 minutes of the race, and Kuismanen has lost, I think, a little bit too Major. Maybe he had a little mistake there. So now Kuismanen up behind Andrew Taylor. It's 3 seconds between the two, 12 seconds, 11 seconds now between Kuismanen and Major. It will be a hunt from Kuismanen on Major. Kuismanen now lapping at 2:02. He's pushing a lot A lot more than those cars around him. When we look at the remaining energy, you'll see that Kuismanen has burned an awful lot more energy than Major or Colombo on that last lap. But Hackers is not really saving either at the moment. And I think O'Donnell finally has managed to reconnect to the lobby to at least finish the race. Or does he? I think he might just call it. No, he actually did come into the pits. Maybe trying to go for the fast lap, even though that's not going to give him a point. And now Kuismanen has lost a bit on that lap. Again, maybe a little trip to the gravel. Who will get more lucky with the traffic? And who will do less mistakes? It will very likely be a podium for BMW in Hypercar. That will be a second or third place. That BMW GT3 did not help Major at all, but he's keeping calm and avoiding and does avoid making mistakes. And it might show you that consistency is definitely better than raw pace, because Kuismanen makes a lot of mistakes, even though he might be the quicker driver. On pure pace alone. Now he's close enough, 8 seconds separating the two of them. Not sure, does he have anyone up here in front? There is someone up in front. And I think since they passed Valentino Rossi, that will be Umut Korkmaz there. They have in front now. Actually, we have a little battle here going on in the back. A little direct one-on-one. Andrew Taylor against Roland Dozer. That is for position in class. That is the fight for a podium in GT3 Pro. And Andrew Taylor, no chance against that Mercedes, having to go over the grass at the Ferrari, and Roland Dozer just blasts away from Andrew Taylor. Andrew Taylor might think about it, putting it on the inside there, but he does think twice about it, and that is a second place for Roland Dozer. It might be a third place, it might be a second place if Umut Korkmaz gets a penalty. It will be a pretty severe one. You know, 6 minutes remaining, and we have 6.6 is the gap between Jasper Kuismanen and Dominic Major. Let's look at the gaps for a second here. We can see that now it's 6.5 seconds. Colombo almost leading by a minute. In LMP2, almost the entire grid you have. It's not that hard if the grid is that small, and I think the LMP2 gas will not last any longer than this season. It might with the ELMS update. Corey Jason is absolutely flying away from Alphonse Valin. Over 30 seconds off a gap. Never mind. Alphonse Valin did visit the pits, so that puts Daniel Axonov in P1 in GT3 AM once again. Good Smart Racing looking like the dominant force at the moment. .2, 5.9, 5.8. O'Donnell had a massive crash there in the back with one of the Mercedes, and that was Tio Mazura. Definitely would like to show the replay, but the replay, it's not always the best idea. gonna now go back on board with Kuismanen and his journey through the GT3 field, trying to get on that rear wing of that BMW. You can see over there, he'll have to gain a second every minute. That is 2 seconds a lap. Maybe, and then he maybe has a chance at getting to the rear wing of Major. But it will definitely not be a bad day for Porsche Penske Motorsport if he can get it back ahead. But I think Ferrari might also go Porsche even if he gets ahead. And now Major has made a big mistake, and Kuismanen is only 2.3 seconds behind the BMW. Now it's about not making mistakes and keeping that pace up. Let's have a look at the energy remaining, and it is 7% on Major. It's 11% outside of Kuismanen. Colombo has outsaved Kuismanen. It's pit stop almost, if that even is. Oh, way to put it! And there's the Lexus off, and there's the remaining LB2 car of Joseph Greenhoff. They have made contact, it seems, and that compromised the BMW quite a bit there. And now oh no! There was a big mistake for Dominic Major. Oh no, this could have been such an exciting fight, but Dominic Major, big mistake when it mattered the most. And that gives Kuismanen second place. Colombo definitely still lifting, coasting quite a bit. Can Dominic Major maybe try to fight back? But I don't think he has the virtual energy nor the tires for it. Colombo definitely starts the penultimate. No, probably the... He has a very big gap to Kuismanen height, almost leading Kuismanen by a minute. So if he doesn't have the fuel, he could just lift off and kind of wait until the checkered flag. Dominic Major into the pit lane. He's not confident. He has the virtual energy for one more lap. I think that gives the podium maybe to Alpine and Brad Hackers, who had a difficult start to the race, but are looking like they might get home with a podium. Definitely does look like it. Major still has half the pit lane to go. Now Colombo is going in the 204s as well. He's lapping the 204s as well and takes the fastest lap of the race from Jasper Kuismanen. So what will Colombo do? Will he go for one more lap, or will he just lift off and wait until the checkered flag falls? It's not forbidden to do either thing. But does he have the energy to go for one more lap? It does look like he does. And it will not be one more lap, it seems, because Colombo is slowing down. So Mohamed Colombo, like it or not, makes it 3 in a row for AF Course and Ferrari. Well, actually, did he? Wait, hold up. Did he finish the race? No, he did not. So it just took 20 seconds out of him. Just to make it over the line once more. He should have enough though, and even if he doesn't, he still has 30 seconds of a gap to Kuismanen behind. And Kuisman does not. Kuisman is not confident he can lift and coast enough. Might this give the opportunity to Brad Hackers for a first ever podium for Alpine? It does not look like it, but it might be the opportunity for Major to come back. What a dramatic last stint here as Kuisman now comes out of the pits. That is Kuisira, that is Major, but I don't think that Major is close enough. No, not at all. Kuisman will be able... Oh, actually, it'll be very close between these two, I think. No, I think Kuisman has it. I think Kuisman has it pretty easily. Kuisman is allowed to now accelerate. Colombo is his last 2%, cruising to another victory for A, of course, and himself. Dominic Major now 6 seconds. It wasn't enough, unfortunately. He might have overhealed there a little bit. But yeah, now to the race leader, Colombo, into the bus stop chicane for the final time this race. And Colombo and Ferrari will be delighted. It's a 1, 2, 3, a hat-trick of wins for Colombo. And A, of course, they win again with Ferrari here in Spa-Francorchamps. What a race from them. Where are our class leaders? Corey Jason also makes it 3 in a row. And Daniel Aksanov will also make it 3 in a row in LMGT3 AM, as he will come home to take his 3rd win of the season. What a lovely, lovely race from these drivers. Jason and Aksanov, the dominating forces in the class. Alphonse Valin, good to taste, being the class leader. P3 for him overall, and P2 in class. Human Korkmaz, it will be P2 in class for him, but I don't think he'll keep that after the collision with Dimitri Baudet. Jasper Kuisman on his way, came very close this time around, but Ferrari just beat Porsche through this by the strategy. So Kuisman gets 2nd once again. Dominic Major, what a podium for BMW! They finally get to stand on P3 in Hypercar. Very close for Alpine as well. Joseph Green, we've totally forgot him, he wins in LMP2. Brad Hackers will win for Alpine, and will win by quite a distance. No, what? What am I yapping? I'm sorry. He'll take P4. Just wasn't really there. No, Precker P6. A disappointing result for Ferrari and him. Well, not for Ferrari, but for his Ferrari. Bracker's P4. P5 for Peter Kuisira, who gets to stand on 2nd place. It's looking like Human Korkmaz at the moment. I don't think he'll keep that as said. Then Roland Joseph takes 3rd in GT3 Pro. Valentino Bossi takes 3rd in GT3 AM. And now Peter Kuisira for Porsche Penske Motorsports. P5 for him. Roland Joseph P3 in class, P6 in GT3. And I think that is everyone we have been waiting for. So, let's look at our session results. Now, P1, Mohamed Colombo, once again a winner, then Jasper Kuisman, Dominic Major, Brad Hackers, Peter Kuisira, Norbert Precker. That is your top 6 in the Hypercar. Then Joseph Green wins LMP2, Corey Jason wins LMGT3, Daniel Aksanov LMGT3 AM, and then a bunch of the GT3 variety bunched up. We lost, unfortunately, quite a bit of people here today. Yeah, we will see what the future will bring and what next round will bring on the Saturday in Kota for the Split 2, and on Sunday we'll make the trip to Brazil. So, that is it for today. Ladies and gentlemen, I wish everybody here a good night. Check out our socials on YouTube, Discord, and TikTok. And we'll see you next time around once again